Alright guys, so I was recently asked what I think are the best DLCs for each historical Total War. Original Shogun and Medieval obviously only had one each, so we'll skip over those today, and Empire and Napoleon really only had a handful of unit packs with one campaign DLC each. But for Rome, Medieval 2, Shogun II, Rome 2, Attila, and Three Kingdoms, we've got multiple DLCs to choose from, and it can sometimes feel intimidating. You know, some reviews say this, others say that, you don't know which one is worth it, and understandably you want to get the most bang for your buck. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what I think are the best DLCs for each of these games that elevate the gameplay, introduce new, better content, and are worth paying for. Before diving straight in though, if you don't own any of these games or their DLCs, and after this video you do want to buy one or two, you can pick them up for a massive 90% off on Instant Gaming, a reputable game key reseller that I've been using for a few months now. They have a great roster of games with the Total War titles and loads of others like Ghosts of Tsushima, Elden Ring, Crusader Kings, or even Manor Lords. All of these games and more all have much bigger discounts here than ever before, so if you're thinking about buying, make sure to click the link below to get your games for cheap and support the channel at the same time. Now let's get back to the video. Hands down, Barbarian Invasion is the must-have DLC for Rome Total War, or indeed the remaster, setting the stage for the Roman Empire's dramatic decline in 363 AD. The expansion introduces new factions like the Huns, Vandals, and the divided Eastern and Western Roman empires, each facing unique challenges, and they are so much fun to play with. The standout feature, of course, is the Horde mechanic, allowing factions to migrate across the map in search of new territories, adding unpredictability to the campaign. The DLC also brings night battles, new units, and mechanics that reflect the era's shifting warfare and religious tensions. The atmosphere is markedly different from the OG, emphasizing survival as the Roman world crumbles. Whether defending the Empire or leading barbarian invasions, the DLC campaign offers a rich, immersive experience that deepens the original game's strategic complexity. Its innovative mechanics and compelling setting make it a timeless expansion for any fan of the series, and for me personally, it is simply better than the Alexander DLC, purely due to scope, innovative mechanics, better gameplay. It's got much more of everything compared to Alexander. So if you're looking at one of the DLCs for Rome, definitely get Barbarian Invasion. Now, of course, Medieval 2 remains a huge fan favorite, and the Kingdoms expansion is widely regarded as one of the best in the series. It offers 4 separate campaigns: Britannia, Teutonic, Crusades, and Americas, each with its own distinct flavor and set of challenges, factions, campaign maps. Whether players are leading crusaders in the Holy Land, defending against Mongol invasions, or exploring the New World, Kingdoms provides a wealth of content that significantly expands the base game's scope beyond what any other DLC has ever done in the series. But of course, I'm not going to suggest all of them. I have to pick one, and for me, the clear winner is the Crusades. It is kind of close to the Teutonic campaign. They're both very good, but the Crusades has this sort of reenact the Kingdom of Heaven that I just love. The campaign map dynamics of Jerusalem, Antioch, Byzantines, and Egypt are amazingly done. The later Mongol invasions puts a real dent into campaign progression, and from flamethrowers to unique faction events, there's just so much here that is a major step up from OG Medieval 2. All the other campaigns are great, don't get me wrong, but I think personally the Crusades campaign is the best. Total War Shogun II, as we all know, takes players to Japan during the Sengoku period, but its best DLC, Fall of the Samurai, transports them even further forward in time to honestly some of the best gunpowder era gameplay you can play in the series. Imagine Napoleon and Shogun II had a baby, and its uncles are Rome and Medieval 2. Combine them all into probably one of the best historical games you can play in the series, and that baby is Fall of the Samurai. It comes with plenty geopolitical mechanics to keep your campaign interesting, economic and technology mechanics that will keep progress really heavily dependent on diplomacy and lots of other factors, meaningful decision making that will decide the future of Japan, your faction, your allies, if you decide to engage with America, France, and Britain or not, and fantastic espionage mechanics to give you an edge against your immediate enemies. It's got the whole Total War formula done in a way that no other title or DLC really has been able to do, and versus Rise of the Samurai, it's definitely a clear winner for me. So if you're looking for a DLC for Shogun II, definitely look into Fall of the Samurai first. Now, Rome 2 has, of course, a lot of great DLC campaigns. Rise of the Republic is one of my personal favorites, but Empire Divided, truthfully, is definitely the best, bringing players into the chaotic 3rd century, a period often referred to as the crisis of the 3rd century, which just goes to show how much of a great setting this is for Total War. This expansion focuses on a crumbling Roman Empire beset by internal strife, economic difficulties, and external threats. The DLC introduces a new campaign map, 5 playable cultural groups, and 10 factions, each with unique mechanics and challenges. The atmosphere is tense and immersive, and honestly, of all the DLC campaigns, it is definitely one of the more difficult you can play, capturing the desperation of a once great empire on the brink of collapse. The narrative-driven events combined with the revamped politics and the emergence of barbarian kingdoms offer a fresh and challenging experience, and really, Empire Divided stands out for its depth and historical accuracy, making it a must-play for fans of the era of Rome 2 and just general historical Total War, and those especially looking for a more complex and engaging campaign for this game. Total War Attila Age of Charlemagne for many players is as close as we've gotten to Medieval 3 Total War, so it fills some pretty big shoes, and it does it gloriously well. Set during the year 768 AD, the DLC focuses on the rise of Charlemagne, of course, and the formation of the Carolingian Empire, and introduces a new map that covers Europe and parts of North Africa with incredible detail. Featuring 8 playable factions including Avars, Franks, Anglo-Saxons, each faction comes with unique units, buildings, and objectives reflecting the distinct cultures and challenges of the time. The DLC is praised for its refined gameplay and distinct atmosphere, and I have to agree. I mean, it shifts the focus from the chaotic decline of the Roman empires as seen in the base game to the complex process of nation building in the early Middle Ages. The new war wariness mechanic adds depth to the long-term military campaigns that you want to get into in Total War, forcing players to carefully consider prolonged wars. And additionally, the campaign narrative is strong, with missions and events tied to historical figures and milestones, creating a more guided and immersive experience and giving you endless hours of gameplay that is miles ahead of other DLCs for the game. Now, I don't play a lot of Three Kingdoms, but I know that A World Betrayed, which is aptly named given how Three Kingdoms support ended, is the standout DLC for the game, offering players a deep dive into the final years of the Han Dynasty and the beginning of the Three Kingdoms era. The DLC's emphasis on betrayal and shifting loyalties adds depth to the already complex political landscape of the game. However, while the new content is rich, it might feel a little bit narrow compared to other DLCs on offer for Three Kingdoms, especially all the other DLCs we've talked about in this video so far. But what does make it really worth it more than anything else is Lu Bu. There are a number of warlords added to Three Kingdoms in this DLC, but Lu Bu alone is definitely worth buying it. The Mandate of Heaven DLC comes pretty close as well, but most 3K DLCs were extremely poorly done and not well received, so I would steer clear of most if not all of them. If you really want to buy new content, I would definitely recommend the Mandate of Heaven and A World Betrayed. Those are the only ones I would buy and play. Overall, the Total War series has pretty consistently delivered high-quality DLCs that expand on the richness, the historical depth of the base games. Each DLC mentioned here not only enhances the original game, but also offers a unique perspective on the historical periods they cover, with new factions, new campaign maps, new mechanics. Whether you're leading a samurai in ancient Japan, reconquering Rome's lost territories, or defending against barbarian invasions, these DLCs provide some of the most memorable experiences in the franchise, and for me, compared to the other DLCs on offer for each of them, they're well worth their asking prices and well worth buying more than the others. And that's it for today, guys. This has been my 2024 review of basically the best DLCs for each of the major historical Total Wars. I'm not a massive fan of Troy, hence why it's not here, and of course Thrones and Pharaoh don't have DLCs, so this covers everything else. If you're considering buying any of this, remember to use my instant gaming link to get up to a massive 90% off any of these games and DLCs in the Total War series, and I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, give it a like and drop any thoughts or questions in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel for more Total War content just like this, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.